Well, years ago, I was on the phone with one of my business associates from Canada, and he has a good awareness of things. And as we were talking, I jokingly said to come to Huntington Beach and I'll teach you how to surf. He told me he could not swim and had a rather fear of the water. Then he told me of a man he met, and as they were talking, the man asked for my friends to watch, as he then proceeded to put it to his forehead, as he said, "You can't swim, can you?" At first, my friend thought it was all a gag and said to him, "No, I can't." And then the fellow said, "You were an explorer in the 1800s, and you were standing on the docks with several others, and all of you were in disagreement about the cargo. Then one of the men pulled a knife out and stabbed you in the heart, and you fell backwards and into the water as your lungs filled up and you drowned. Today, my friend is still in the export business." Here's a good example of a carryover from a past life, because he didn't pick his water attitude up at this life. How fun it is to know that we have been here before and that we can do just so much better for ourselves with all the experience that we already have. Rebazar would tell Paul and I and myself that when we were able to tap into our past, which are the experiences of our universal files, it would help us to succeed with what we are here to do today and now. Past lives are something interesting to look at, but not to be held by. The interest that people have in psychic sciences is not a bad choice, but should be one of careful scrutiny. Those who seem to profess so much in the way of psychic abilities are also into the business world, and many are times into black magic. I have dealt with some of these people, and almost each time they would want to do a bunch of silly rituals and change me, and a lot of money to perform these showy hocus-pocus changes that are about to come, they say. Again, ritual and ceremony have nothing to do with real truth. The enemy in man tends to soften his character and makes him touchy and rather moody, and also jealous at times. From this, he can become vain and hard to adjust to situations that he needs to tend to. So much of the fear which women arouse in men is due to the anemia image. Men can take care of themselves. A close recognition of this can offset a lot of silly moods in one. Such attitudes show up in the person's dreams, and one can be uneasy and irritable for days as they experience the different sides of themselves. The anemias, the masculine figure in a woman's unconscious, corresponds to the anemia in a man. And so it is As the anemia is notorious for producing moods in a man, the anemias produces all those seemingly delightful options in a woman. But these opinions are not based upon real truth, knowledge, or original thought, but a created assumption, as social women love to grace themselves with. Many of these assumptions arise from a woman's dream experiences they do not consciously realize. In social gatherings, it is only obvious the nature and level with which a person realizes and relates to by the communication that they deliver. They often speak of reference points referring to real truth or exact knowledge, or is it that they are moved, interested in the behavior, appearance, or outfits of others, especially other women who might be in competition of their mates or business plans. Most hold to their one-dimensional environmental mode, seeing nothing beyond the assumptions, feelings, and ideas, and the appearances of their socially bred arrangements. Women can be more so the seductive side of the dual forces, and they actually love their role even when they're caught at it. The extremes of this is brutal sex act and masochism at times. The social consciousness in people becomes extended beyond the normal borders as they continue to look for new highs and thrills with their physical and emotional bodies. What is not seen on the surface many times is the eventual effects of certain relationships that have been decided upon. The social environment of today is a gross and overly done exaggeration of a real life, as so much entails of radical behavior among those especially who are very well off financially, as they have made most of their money from products and services which really do not provide any real benefit for others on earth. To the true reality of life is, but do serve themselves and the influence. I have seen a builder and I have been a builder most of my life, and there has always been a fine time for certain construction, such as housing and shopping centers for the masses. But today it has become overdone with casinos, resorts, and amusement parks that really do not assist the natural environment or educate people to do better in a true sense. All of this becomes a way of life as it has in ancient history, which clearly has proven the downfall of the greatest of civilizations. Add to this the rep systems, and they do not contribute to mankind. And it is easy to see why this world is as it is now. The great and wonderful universal guides have always tried to point the way for mankind to stand in the real light and see reality as it truly is. But most people want the seductive side of themselves and to be controlled by the influence. I am providing this understanding as a real gift for every person to eventually perceive where they're at with the position that they have chosen. What do you say about that, Tim?
Well, it just makes me think about how to understand and perceive, and I guess you'd call it, for me, it would be more than reading. I guess you'd call it study to understand these things like animus and animuses, and there's so much, it seems like, to pay attention to and try to perceive, or whatever the word is, understand what the words mean.
Dwayne talks about studying a lot, and that's to our benefit if we do study what's going on around us, because otherwise we just get lulled into somebody else's creation, like we were talking about before. Dwayne talked about he's been a builder all his life. I've been a gardener all my life, and this right now, this is real crucial since we're working on the rainforests, and we do support the all-natural environment. It supports us, so this includes the plants and the animals, well, plants and the trees and the things growing on our planet. So these things are being destroyed purposely. And what we're doing with our projects is doing things to offset this destruction. People are basically, those people that are sincere, they're basically, well, it's whatever, it's a particular for each person, but they're better off normally than those who are self-convinced. And really, in this day and age, if you're not seeing what we're doing, you're going to be sucked into something that you probably is not going to be a benefit for yourself. So there's really nothing out there, even if you're a sincere person and you position yourself a certain way without believing in any kind of particular belief system or whatever, you still need this guidance. There's just no way around it. You can't. It's to figure it out yourself. I don't see how a being could do that, because there's no reference points out there in creation that really point to what Dwayne is referencing. So that's why we say this is the real cure. This is the only way. And it's not that it's a way, but it's the reference points that are important. No one's going to show you how to wake up or become more aware, but it's these reference points, this guidance, these hints, that will position yourself better for your awakening, for your own volition, your own decision to wake up. So it's not going to be any other way out there. It's anything else out there does not lead to anything really, except another position to where maybe you can find something like this, where it does make sense. The references are pointing to a real, true reality, and then you can go from there. But otherwise, even if you're a sincere person, a good person, an honest person, it's and contrary to belief, most people's belief, it's not really going to do you any good, because it's just the reality of the world. It's just, we've seen good people, and bad things happen to them too. So there's no guarantee for anything by being a good person or honest person. what really matters is you're waking up to what really is going on, and that's your best position here. And again, we and this is not bragging or ego or anything like arrogance, but just we have the best references because our references point to the isness, this reality that just is, that makes sense and that is all encompassing. So it's not about the personal self and the ego or anything like that. It's just like being real with what's going on. So watch your references, look at your references, what you're agreeing to, because that's very important. And then study what we're presenting here, because it's an ongoing journey to awareness, which is where really where it's at.
Yes. We do learn by watching ourselves how we react to different things, how we react to this situation, how we react to that one, and it's watching yourself react. These are the reference points that Val was trying to say, was telling us about, and there is only one way, and that's the isness.
Dwayne, sometime he said this the other night. So he reacts to certain things. He knows that his personal self does, but and then he goes back and he looks at it, and objectively, he really studies his personal self and sees where he can become more aware with it. Because just like everybody, that has a human body, we're going to react. It's just the way it is. It's the nature of the thing. So, but in the same lines, he lets go of it. He doesn't. He looks at it, and then he just lets go and goes on to the next moment, because it's being now. It's moment by moment. So that's another part of this, is not hanging on to it in an attitude or an idea or being self-convinced to something. So just being able to walk away with it and let go and just carry on and just be real and now and
yeah, it's letting go your reaction to things. If you know that you don't like that reaction in yourself, you have to let it go and be aware that you react in a way that doesn't suit you. So now that there is a better way, now you're more aware of what you're doing, and you are perceiving more, and you grow, you expand yourself, and you expand where you are. And that's sort of the adventure. What the heck am I doing here? Do I want to carry on this attitude in my life? Do I want to keep that? You make a decision.
That's why Dwayne encourages us to write our own books, because we can go back and see decisions we have made, or attitudes in the past, and the way we looked at things and viewed things. So it's an objective view of what we've gone through, and that's kind of along the same lines as, your reaction like yesterday to something. Well, you go way back into when you were born and in childhood and in young adulthood, and just look at what you've gone through and how you reacted, and it gives you a bigger picture of things, and you can let go of that too once you see it for what it is.
That can be, if you really look at yourself and be honest, look at what that attitude is. Are you going to keep it or let it go?